Today we're going to make a Shank Stabilizer that we hold onto the Grand Action. And it's just made from a 2x4. Don't waste your money on real expensive stuff when a real cheap version would work. But make 3 or 4 of them so you have extra and you can give one to a friend. So this is a 2x4. And then I made this about 4 inches long. And what we're going to do is cut grooves in this, which are about, let me see, about almost 1/4 of an inch. I would say go ahead and do it 1/4 of an inch depth with your dado blade. So all you do is lay this down here, and I've already got the dados in there, but you can just measure it and put it about 1/3 over here, and then I would run the saw, cut it all the way through. Of course, I want to do about a 2-foot length. A small length like this isn't good, and it bounces on you and does all sorts of nonsense. So get you a 2-foot piece. Once I'm done cutting that one, I'll just flip it around, not change my saw, and cut the other one. And then once I've got both those grooves in cut, then I'll move my fence over just a little bit, and I'll line it up where it's in the middle, put my fence back down, and then I'll cut on the board, the 2-foot board, then I'll go ahead and cut the middle one. And that way I get all 3 of my grooves. Here's the stabilizer. Some people like to cut a center section out so it goes over the screws, but I found that most screws are pretty level and it sets really well. And then you put the shank up in here like this and you just hold it, and it's very stable up here. So I can do tails, I can reduce the shanks, do other things here. Now notice that I have this ready to hang hammers, and I'm showing you an easy way to do this, and you don't need expensive platforms, expensive jigs to hang hammers. This is just a nice flat square board that's blocked up on both ends, and I can put it under here. It's angled a little bit at the sides so that it can go in pretty deep, and then I got a 90-degree angle here. That's not that important because you're hanging with straight edges, and I'll show you how to hang those later, but this is what we're focusing on today. Now you can see the shape of this, and I'm not going to turn on the sander, but what I did was put it in here, and then I rounded it off very carefully using this fence here to round off that. It doesn't take much at all. It takes like 10 seconds to round this off, and then I just rounded off this side, rounded off that side, flattened it out, prettied it up, did all that stuff, but I didn't really do much of this other than just flatten it. I want that square. These are just little pieces of wood insert. I tried popsicle stick, and that was a little too wide, so get you some shim somewhere. Cut up. These are about 2.5 millimeters this way, and it's about 3/4 of an inch long. Now I need to warn you about something. When you make this, here is a conventional shank, octagonal, and I can put that in there. It fits perfectly, but in some of the old actions with these square shanks, it won't fit. So what I've done is I've taken my other jig and I've taken just a little bit out on the side one. One of the side ones is a little bit larger. So when I have these larger ones, I always use that larger one. So the one tool will work for any hammer. But remember though, that if you put this in here in the middle one, it won't go all the way in, so it doesn't really secure the top as well. It kind of does, but still when I put it on the other side, it's a perfect fit. When I use the tool, I'll bring up the hammer, put it in the middle one here, and if it's on the edge, I'll use one of the ones that are on the edge, on the side. That's why you have the 3. It's just for convenience if you're at the edge or the other edge over there. What I'm going to do, let's say I'm going to take off these hammers. Now, if I hold it like this, it's very secure. It's not going to go anywhere. And in this instance, I'm just cutting off the heads. And then just laying them back down. Do the next one. Now you can, if you're not saving the hammers, you can do it this way. Just, twist it off, cut it, twist it off, throw the hammer away. And it's real easy to go from one to the next. Now it's also easy when you get ready to take off these glue collars. You don't want to be using the tool like this without that. It will strain the center a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just bring it up here. Now I've already set this. It's going to take just a little bit of the glue collar off. I've got a knurler that I'm going to put them through later, but anyway, just taking the glue collar off, and you can see how easy it is just to go from one to the next. The plans for making this jig can be found in the Piano Technician's Journal, July 1997. And this is an article by Ted Sambell. And those of you who know Ted, he was a wonderful person, kindest man on the earth, great technician. He tuned for Glenn Gould and amongst others. Wonderful man. And so that's where you can find the exact instructions.